Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ACW Newscast. This is Newscast number 40, the Big 40. When I first started with the newscast, I thought it was just going to be a little thing that I'd do just to, one, add more content to the ACW channels, but at the same time, just me rambling and just talking about certain things. But I've really come to enjoy the newscast to give you guys a little bit of a more personal look into what I do and what other things that interest me besides Call and anime and video games and what have you. So it's really cool to get to interact with you guys and for you guys to interact with me. So I appreciate for all the love that you guys have given me for all those years. I do appreciate it. But welcome to this newscast number 40. Today, this newscast might be a little bit extended than usual because I have a lot of things to talk about. Today, we're going to talk about the recap of E3. We're going to talk about a lot of things concerning E3 and quote-unquote who won E3. We're also going to talk about certain expectations of the World Cup. We're also going to talk about Ground Zero, which is approaching next Friday night. So, for you guys watching this right now, remember, next Friday night, ACW Ground Zero will be available on Book TV and VO, and we'll talk about that. And we're also going to talk about the current state of gaming. Now, if you guys remember last week, I talked about the current state of Call and the whole deals and issues with that. The same thing applies with video games in the gaming industry today, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well. So with those 4 topics, I'm going to try to talk as much as I can about it without going too long. But I did not get to read certain questions and comments from last week, and I didn't do a newscast the week before that, so I want to do that right now. So UCC owner, so Death Damon 3000. If you guys haven't seen his Call League UCCW on YouTube, please go check it out. It's a really good call fed, something that you guys really should give a first look at. It's a very interesting Call League, and I always support Call Leagues that are doing things different and unique, and it's one of those Call Leagues. So give him a shout out and give him a like. But he asked me certain questions. Now these certain questions are going to be outdated because I didn't really do a newscast, but still. He asked me, what is your thoughts on the upcoming UCCW Killer Instinct? I enjoyed Killer Instinct. I especially like the Dominator match. I like that Dominator finally put Kanzai away. I can never pronounce that right. But apparently this guy Armageddon is here too, and I have my concerns with Armageddon and how he's going to be portrayed with the Dominator. I feel like Armageddon's going to just team up with Dominator until he reveals his really true intentions. So it's going to be a very interesting storyline to watch. Another interesting storyline for me as well that came out from Killer Instinct was the formation of WarriorWare Inc. And I love it. I'm a fan of Wario regardless, and I like the fact that Wario beat Austin. I think that was necessary. I think it was needed. And then the fact that Waluigi, Wario, and other chick I can't name right now, but still, the fact that those 3 joined forces and developed WarriorWare Inc. is very interesting. I like to see where that's going to go. Maybe Wario might be getting a future UCCW heavyweight title shot, maybe, perhaps. Make it happen. If you want it to happen, go hashtag UCCW owner, Warrior as next champion. Possibility. But overall, I did enjoy Killer Instinct, one of the better mega events that he's done. And I will continue to. I'm still a supporter of UCCW. He's always told me that UCCW was a branch off the ACW, that ACW inspired him to do it, so I do appreciate the love for that. And who knows, might be a lot of things that might happen with UCCW and ACW in the near future. You just have to wait on it. And the second question was, is ACW going to return for Season 4 after Animania 3? Yes, it will return. Because, see, here's the thing. We're having Animania 3 on December 5th of this year. And then December 6th will be my newscast, the post-Animania 3 edition during Animania week. And I will be talking more into detail about a lot of things that are going to happen in Season 4. I'm going to talk about certain specials we're going to do during our off-season, during our hiatus. We're going to be doing the ACW draft that year. We're going to do the ACW draft during the hiatus. We're going to be doing the ACW year-end awards. We're going to do the 2015 Elite Tournament. So there's going to be a lot of content for a lot of people to get their ACW fill while ACW is off season. As a matter of fact, we're doing a Season 4 so much that I've already got stories. I already got storylines and character developments set for season 4 for both Excel and Impulse. That's how ahead I am with ACW right now. So, nonetheless, thank you for asking me those questions. Once again, give ACW a check out. Torn Anthony Fluker, another colleague owner with TNXA. You can catch his videos and you can catch his shows and web matches on Dailymotion, not YouTube, Dailymotion. He's another person that's very intrigued, and he's another person that is very creative with his colleague, which I do appreciate and approve. But he has questions for me. One, what are your thoughts on TNXA web match episode 6? I like the match. Joe Mathos being the commentator was awesome, but then again, I'm a Joe Mathos mark, I guess. So I like Joe and what he does. And Wendy being the mystery opponent, very out of left field. Did not expect that, but that was fine. I think she did well. And number 2, he asks, what are your predictions of WWE Payback? WWE Payback. Well, as you know, WWE Payback passed already. The show's already been done. But I will give thoughts about the aftermath of Payback, however. I think the whole Seth Rollins heel turn is stupid, personally, because you can clearly tell that the WWE had no long-term storyline planned for Seth Rollins to turn heel. It was pretty much doing a heel turn just for the sake of a heel turn. And Seth Rollins' explanation, I guess he gave this past Monday, was so ludicrous and stupid. Why would you, at the top of your career, at the height of your career at this point right now, with the Shield dominating Evolution 2 times. The Shield won their match at WrestleMania, while the members of Evolution lost their matches at WrestleMania. Then you beat them in 2 back-to-back consecutive pay-per-views in Extreme Rules and Payback. You guys are pretty much arguably the hottest wrestling act going in the company today. So you would turn your back on Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose to join a losing team in Orton and Triple H, just because you wanted your spotlight, even though you were getting your spotlight by being in the Shield. Does this make any sense? And I don't want any WWE apologists. I don't want anybody trying to make excuses for it. If you're going to crap on TNA for doing heel turns for the sake of heel turns, the same thing applies here with the WWE. Because I'm not a company fan. I'm a wrestling fan. I will call out the bull when I see it. And that's what I saw with WWE. Also, John Cena beating Bray Wyatt, you knew it was coming, and this whole feud with Cena that Bray Wyatt has been a failure. It has gotten Bray Wyatt less over than he's ever been. And you knew the writing was on the wall for Bray Wyatt that this feud wasn't going to be good for him when he lost to Cena at WrestleMania when he had no business to lose to. The storyline called for Bray Wyatt to win at WrestleMania. That way, it gives Cena enough momentum to eventually beat him in the blowout feud. Everyone would have accepted Cena beating Bray Wyatt at Payback had Bray Wyatt won his match at WrestleMania at the big stage. You got to give the big moment. You got to give the big stage to Bray Wyatt. You gotta start building these young top stars. You cannot go to the well of John Cena and Randy Orton. I don't give a damn how many merchandise sales that he gives. I don't give a damn how many wishes he gives to kids. I don't care what he does for the troops. I don't care what he does for pay-per-view sales. Yada, yada, yada. When John Cena eventually suffers a career-ending injury, what do you have to fall back on? Because you've gotten these new talents that have been rammed through so much with John Cena that when John Cena eventually can no longer be relied upon, these stars aren't over enough to take the mantle Cena has used and took it for almost a decade. Longer than Hulk Hogan's reign in the WWF. You gotta start building these new talents. And Bray Wyatt was a perfect opportunity for John Cena to go ahead and say, you know what, I'm getting there in age. I can tell that my time at the top is starting to become, pretty much over. It's time to start building these new guys. I see a guy in Bray Wyatt. Let me help this guy. He can be a top heel for the company. Let me build him up. No, instead, John Cena and WWE decided that instead they'd rather keep their ego in check, which I do not begrudge him for, because John Cena is the top guy. You're going to have egos. That's just the way the business works. But I just hate that he had to use his ego to bury a future top star, which is exactly what he did. I don't care what any apologists want to say. That's exactly what happened. Because nobody can tell me that Bray Wyatt was arguably next to Daniel Bryan, the hottest act in the WWE, only for John Cena to just run through him just like he does with everybody else. Because Umaga was the same thing too. Back in 2006, John Cena ran through him. The Nexus were the hottest act too in 2010. John Cena beat the Nexus, being the last man standing at SummerSlam of that year. Okay? CM Punk never got a clean win over John Cena, not even at Money in the Bank. Never got a clean win in 2011 or in 2012. Ryback. They stupidly turned him heel for no reason when he was starting to get over as a face and as a guy that could be the number 2 to John Cena's number 1. They turned him heel and fed him to John Cena, and Ryback hasn't been the same since. So don't give me that bull that John Cena doesn't have any control. Every top guy in the WWE has had control because they're the top guy. They have creative control. What, is Vince going to fire them if they don't listen to them? What, is Vince going to take away their control if they don't listen to them, if they're making him money? Get the hell out of here. So yeah, that's overall my thoughts on the WWE right now after Payback. Just a lot of crap. And I'm not being a WWE fanboy, because TNA is in the same boat too. Just mainstream American wrestling sucks right now. Period. It just sucks. So, thank you guys for those questions and comments. Remember, if you want to send your questions and comments, it doesn't have to be about ACW. It can be something ACW related. It can be something call related. It can be something anime, animation, video game related, wrestling related, sports related, political related, music related, TV related. Anything you want to ask me. Just remember, you can send it on the bottom. You can comment on it on the bottom of the screen, at the bottom of this video, or you can comment on Facebook on the ACW Facebook page. Just let me know, and I'll answer in next week's newscast. Now we got that out of the way. Let's talk about E3. So, the pretty much general consensus is that people are varying between Sony won, Microsoft lost. Microsoft won, Sony lost. But what I'm getting from the general consensus, and this is not me being a fanboy of a particular console or anything, but I'm getting the general consensus that Nintendo won this year. And looking back at the E3 that I witnessed this week, it's hard to kind of argue that. I think in terms of presentation, personally people will disagree, but I personally felt that Microsoft's presentation was soulless. It was bland. And I'm not a Call of Duty guy, you know. I think that they're milking that series for what it's worth at this point. It'll sell, but you know, there's nothing new about it anymore. It's like a Madden game. If you played a Madden game, you've pretty much played them all, just with new features every year. But not interested in Halo. I'm not a Halo guy either. So the whole Master Chief Collection thing was like, all right. Sunset Overdrive does look interesting though. I did like that a little bit. And I just don't like the Xbox One console. Just a lot of its problems that I have with it. Even with them getting rid of the Kinect, it's still, there's a lot of problems with it that I just don't really have much of a favorable opinion of. So overall, Microsoft, they didn't do a lot to make themselves look bad, but at the same time, they didn't do anything really new, or they didn't do anything that really excited me for me to shell out maybe $500 for Xbox One. Sony. I will say it wasn't Sony's best presentation. I thought last year's was way better. Having said that, I feel like Sony did a tad bit better than Microsoft in terms of the games that are coming out. The Order looks really good. Uncharted 4 looks to be the final game for that series. Maybe, I don't know. But you know, it looks interesting as well. And I know they didn't show it, but you know, they still got Final Fantasy 15 out, and they also got Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out as well. So there's a lot of hype for that. Plus, they're starting to add new games into the PS Vita. And the one thing I did not like about the presentation though was that they were also talking about well, first of all, let me discuss this. One thing I didn't like about the Sony thing was that the whole Little Planet 3 presentation, I like it. I like the Little Planet series, don't get me wrong, but the presentation and the gameplay during that conference was so poor. It was very poor. The developers and the people playing the game had no idea how to play. They were just pretty much coasting along, and it made the game look bad in my opinion. Like, why would I want to buy it if you guys can't even play? Just show the true aspects of the gameplay. And also, I think I didn't also like the TVs and movies that were emphasized upon. I know people like the Ratchet and Clank movie idea, but you know, could that more of that time could have that been invested on maybe more games that need to be shown, or maybe talk about more of the hardware. And in the whole powers thing that was going on there too, I was completely bored throughout the whole segment there. But I do like the fact that they have some indie games that look playable. I like that as well. But so I thought Sony did a tad better. But when I look at Nintendo, now Nintendo gets a strike for the fact that they weren't there live. Simple as that. Microsoft and Sony did theirs live and in person. Nintendo really didn't. So that's a little bit of a strike there. But at the same time, you look at it, you're getting a new Zelda game for the Wii U, which looks to be like Elder Scrolls, honestly, and it looks beautiful. The graphics look amazing. You also got a game for Yoshi, which looks interesting as well. Kirby's got a game for the Wii U as well, which looks interesting. I haven't played Pokemon or watched Pokemon in a long, long time, but for you Pokemon fans, you got the Ruby and Sapphire series, I believe it's called, and that should be getting people interesting for the game as well. Splatoon. I mean, maybe that's not a game I would purchase first day, but that'd probably be a game if a friend brought it over, we can play it and possibly not get bored after like 5 hours. Also, a new Star Fox game was announced for the Wii U, which got everybody hyped up. So that was very cool to see. Bayonetta 2 is coming out this year, with Bayonetta 1 also being included for the Wii U, which should be interesting for a lot of you Bayonetta fans. But obviously, we all know what this E3 was about for Nintendo this year. I think everybody knows what E3 for Nintendo was about this year, and that was a new Super Smash Bros. Game for 3DS and the Wii U. And now a lot of things have came out for that news as of this week. A lot of interesting things that came out. First of all, I have to congratulate Nintendo for doing the Super Smash Bros. Invitational and streaming it. I watched pretty much most of it. It was a beautiful sight to behold. A lot of you people that are bitching about the Invitational tournament, like, you guys didn't have the real gamers. You guys had to slow down the pace so you guys can brand it and make money. Shut the hell up. It's like Nintendo throws a bone at you at the best for this type of thing, and you still find ways to bitch about it. So when you do get something, you want to move the goalposts back in a different direction. Say, no, they're right here. Why are you over there? Stop. I enjoyed the Invitational Tournament. I think it was a thing that they need to start doing every year. Even when a new Smash Bros. Game doesn't come out that year, they should be doing it every year. I don't know, every month, though. That could be a little bit excessive, but every year, I'm down. I'd be down for that. Props go to the commentators as well. Scar, Prague, especially D1, made that whole Invitational Tournament really great to listen to and watch. Good job with Jeff to also host that stuff. Great to see Sakurai. Looks a little bit better than I seen him last time. Reggie was awesome, especially his his final call, if you will, to close out the tournament, saying that he's gonna play the Smash game for the 3DS on the go. He's gonna come back next year and he's gonna kick Hungry Box's ass. That was awesome. That felt like a WWE promo in many ways. So I found that cool. Maybe one thing I didn't like about the Invitational was the fact that there was a lot of stalling, especially the girl that played the Wii Fit trainer. You can tell she doesn't know how to play. She just pretty much kept hiding in any item that came down. She used on everybody, or if she saw a Smash Ball, she would instantly get it. Otherwise, she had no strategy. She had no way to play the game. It was clearly obvious. The finals match was great. We need a fucking rematch. Excuse me for my cursing. I'm just gonna curse anyways. But we need a rematch between Hungry Box and Zero. That was an awesome finals. Like it could have went either way, and that's exactly pretty much how it played out. Just Samus was just faster, more agile. And I love Kirby. Kirby's my favorite character in that whole Super Smash Bros. Series, because I will beat people with Kirby. But Zero Suit Samus, used by Zero, was just way too fast and agile for Hungry Box. But a job well done. So yeah, and also we got the announcement that Lady Palutena has been announced as official for Smash Brothers. Also, the much big rumor has been confirmed that now Pac-Man has also been confirmed for Smash 4. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Think about this for any old school gaming fan. And I was born in 1991. I was born 1991, so I'm a 90s kid. For me personally, but think about it this way: you have Nintendo's mascot Mario, Sega's mascot Sonic, Capcom's mascot Mega Man, and now Namco's mascot Pac-Man. Four iconic video game characters, four of the forefathers of the gaming industry, and they're all in one game. I think people really underestimate how big that is. I think people really underestimate how huge that thing is. That's awesome. And people should be happy about it. It's really a sight to see. It really is. So Smash 4 should be the game of the year. I think it is going to be the game of the year. People will call it kitty. I don't care. It's going to be the game of the year pretty much. There's too much hype for it not to be the game of the year. So it pretty much saved the Wii U pretty much as well. So we'll see about that as the time ticks. But overall, I had a fun E3. Thanks for E3 for quote unquote inviting us for the final day with Edward Elric versus Ness in a Extreme Rules match at the 2014 E3 Expo in Los Angeles. We thank them for that. But overall, I had fun with E3. I enjoyed myself. Got to witness certain things about certain games in the system. So hopefully, I'll be there next year to see more. But okay, we're done with that. So now we're gonna talk a little bit about the World Cup. So the World Cup here. I'm a big soccer fan. Grew up in a soccer family. My dad played for Nigeria, and he played for the Nigerian national team back in 1988. So it'd be 3 years before I was born. And I would always watch my dad play soccer, and I would always watch soccer on television or just live. So I love soccer. I love the game. I love the aspects of it. I never knew how to play it. I mean, I knew how to play it, but I was never good at it. So I'm a more of a football wrestler guy. So, but overall, so far, Brazil did a great job against Croatia. Croatia put up a good fight, however. I gotta give them that credit. But Brazil, even though they didn't have their best performance that opening day, still did a pretty good job, and I expect Brazil to win it all. It's in their hometown; they have no choice but to win it all, or at least be in the finals. They have to at least some way make their way to the finals. It's their hometown. They'd be disappointed a lot of people if they did. So that said, I think Brazil will do a good job. Who else I can see in the finals? Germany. Germany's one of the best, if not the best, worldwide team in soccer today. I can also see the Netherlands, with their fast, aggressive style, really get into the finals as well. Um, I don't see the U.S. obviously getting into the finals. They're in a tough round too. They're with Ghana, Germany, and Portugal. They'll get at best second and at worst fourth. Germany's gonna win that whole. Germany's gonna win that whole round, in my opinion. And I even venture to say that Portugal is gonna take second if they're really good, if they really want to be that good this year. Um, so either the U.S. will be third or fourth, second or third. And if they're fourth against Ghana, and I love Ghana because Ghana is a fast team that can really play the more offensive strategy of always attacking with the ball. So they're in a lot of trouble. But otherwise, the U.S. is in a lot of trouble. So I'll talk more about the World Cup as it progresses more and more into the year. So just keep that in mind. ACW Ground Zero is next Friday night, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe that? Next Friday night is ACW Ground Zero. So we're going to take a look at some of the big cards going on here. It's going to be Zuko going one-on-one against a mystery opponent of Roger Smith's for the ACW Excel Residency Championship. Now, you remember Zuko has been complaining about TV time, and Roger Smith at this past episode of Excel has granted him the match at Ground Zero, but we don't know the opponent until we get that revealment at Ground Zero. So we'll see if Zuko can retain the title by then. Also, we got the Little Fighters defending their XL Tag Team titles against the Knights of the Zodiac. Knights of the Zodiac have been on a roll ever since been given the opportunity. They've been on a roll since taking out the Titans back in 2012 and making them leave ACW forever. So they're on a roll. But again, we're talking about the Little Fighters, arguably the best team overall in ACW, period. And that's going with XL and Impulse combined. So the Knights of the Zodiac have a lot cut out for them. So do we have new champions, or will the Little Fighters retain? Also, we got Kakashi Atake and Kaneki Man teaming up to face Gamma members Moroku the Monk and Sasuke Uchiha in a tag team match. It's been a rivalry that's been very heated, and been very heated. Sorry, I'm just drinking water. Sorry, but It's been a rivalry that's been started with the new school versus the old school. Obviously, Kanikam and Kakashi are trying to preserve the old school, and Gamma is trying to change it for the new school. It's been a war that's been going on for years now, and we're going to find out, put up or shut up time. Is the new school going to show why they're here to stay, or do the old school prevail and show that they're just not ready yet? We'll find out. Plus, also, Solid Snake will take on Where Garurumon. Solid Snake has been in a bit of a downward slump as of late. Actually, he suffered a loss against Where Garurumon at Fusion in 2012 in the pre-show. And then Solid Snake just lost the match, 2 weeks prior. So he challenged Where Garurumon to a return match for Ground Zero next Friday night. So we're going to find out if Solid Snake's challenge was well warranted, or will Where Garurumon shut him down and shut him up pretty much for good. And then finally, ladies and gentlemen, it's the XL Championship match. Haru Glory's Ultimate Challenge. In a Fatal 4-Way match, Haru Glory will defend the XL Championship against Hiei, Momochi Zabuza, and Donkey Kong in a Fatal 4-Way match where Haru Glory does not need to be pinned or submitted for the title to change hands. Keep that in mind. So Haru Glory has been a defending fighting champion, and everyone knows that by now. But you've got 3 people that are gunning for his title. 3 people that Haru Glory has an issue with. Donkey Kong speared Haru Glory 2 weeks ago. Zabuza has been on a warpath for the XL Championship and will do at any cost to get there. And everybody should know by now the history between Haru Glory and Hiei at this point. We all know the history between those two. It's well documented. So that is what's going to happen at Ground Zero for our main event. So can Haru Glory retain that title against 3 people that are gunning for that title? Or will we be walking out with a new XL champion? So it will be ACW Ground Zero next Friday night, folks. Only on Blip TV and Vio, not on YouTube. We will also be having a Ground Zero pre-show, which will be on Monday. Keep that in mind. On Monday, we will have an ACW Ground Zero pre-show. And I'll announce the match right now. At the ACW Ground Zero pre-show, which will be only on YouTube, it's going to be Takuya Kanabara going one-on-one against Ultraman Tigger. So some cruiserweight action from the XL side for the Ground Zero pre-show on Monday right here on YouTube. So keep that in mind. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, we get to the reason why this whole newscast is really kind of extended today. I wanted to talk about the state of gaming. Now, I saw something on Facebook, I think about a day or 2 ago, and it got me. It didn't get me mad because it's not that serious or anything, but it had me perplexed in the fact that this is the society we live in today. I think credit goes to Kyle Franks for actually sharing this video from where I saw it, but apparently one of those guys, his name's Gilgar13Vids on YouTube. Some of you might actually know him and seen his videos and laughed at it, which you should. But yeah, he's the guy, and the video was Bad Games Super Mario 64. Now, when I first saw the title, I was thinking, well, that can't be even true. How is Super Mario 64, a pioneer for Nintendo, for the modern gaming world of today, a bad game? So I watched the video, and what did you know it? It wasn't a troll video. Now to be fair, it wasn't so much of a pointless bash video. Like someone saying, "Oh, Super Mario 64 sucks because it just sucks. Nintendo sucks. Mario's the worst video game character." It's not. It wasn't one of those things. And I actually give credit to him for this. He said that the graphics haven't aged well. Well, no shit, because back in those days, the standard was the graphics for Super Mario 64. Obviously, if you compare it to now, the graphics are shit. And the fact of the matter is that even then, Super Mario 64 isn't necessarily unpleasant to look at. People will still pop up on Super Mario 64 on their N64 cartridge or on a CD or on a ROM hack on their computer and still play it. Like, go type in Super Mario 64 Let's Plays. People still play it to this day. Why? You can call it nostalgia, which is part of it, but also because it was that great of a game. And then he started going on saying that the storyline didn't make sense. Yeah, he complained about, the whole plot being reused, which is true, but the reason why it gets reused is because it works. Why fix something that isn't broken? Especially something that's making you money, like the Mario series. Yes, it's Peach getting captured by Bowser and Mario has to go through these things. Okay, and? And? What is it any different from Call of Duty, where you have to just go on these missions and shoot a lot of shit, blow up a lot of things to get to the main mission, and just one? See what I'm saying? So, he talked about the story didn't make sense, which it did. He says that collectathons are boring, which is stupid because it's a platforming game. You're going to expect to collect stuff. You're going to expect to collect certain things to get a certain item or to unlock a certain section. So, and I was just watching it. I was just like, you know what? That's what's wrong with gaming today. It's not necessarily that. It's not just because it's an old game doesn't mean you have to necessarily like it. I'm not saying that, but the fact that you want to try to be different just to be different, that irritates me and insults my intelligence. You can have constructive criticism over Super Mario 64. And honestly, there is constructive criticism. There are some points you can fault at where Super Mario fails. That's reasonable. But when you try to be a hipster tryhard, when you try to be a tryhard and rag on a iconic game that launched N64 and launched Nintendo to the modern gaming world of today, of course you're going to look retarded for doing so. You're going to look stupid for doing so. And rightfully so. Super Mario 64 at its time was one of the best games ever. And it still is, in my opinion, for Nintendo. And then I watched this video over for the bad games, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and I laugh. There is always going to be debate of which is the greatest N64 game of all time, and it always comes down to two games. Either Super Mario 64 or Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Or for a third, GoldenEye 64. But, the main two really are Super Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time. He talks about the storyline is bad. And I laugh because Ocarina of Time is arguably the best storyline in the whole Zelda series, and a lot of people would universally agree with that. People say the graphics are bad. It's like, again, the graphics were the standards back then. It's not the standards right now. Just because you're one of those graphic marks that think that graphics equal great game doesn't make it so. You can have all the graphics in the world. You can have all the beautiful graphics in the world. But if you don't have a story to tell for it, if you don't have characters that are likable and relatable, if you don't have a plot, if you don't have gameplay that's appealing, then what does it matter? What the hell does it even matter? So guys like this is just guys like this are reason why gaming isn't the way it is. Back then gaming used to be about shockingly enough, hold on to your hats here. Gaming used to be about gaming. Used to be about fun. Used to be that you picked up a video game and you played it. You just played it with your friends or by yourself and had a good time. Not to worry about anything. Video games were your escape from reality. But not in today's society. The world of instant gratification that we live in today. Now people want to have their voices heard. They want to have fake outrage. They want to be Tumblr slackovists. They want to be tryhards. They want to be hipsters. They want to try to be rebels when they're really not being rebels. The whole thing. And I go back to the whole invitational tournament with the Wii Fit trainer. It's just that like someone like her, she only picked a Wii Fit trainer just because she's a female. So that means she has to pick a female character just to show that females can play video games too. What? And the fact of the matter is that now you don't have a say. You got these special interest groups that come in here for gaming purposes now to tell you how you should play your games. Tell you how you should enjoy the way you play video games. And that is bullshit. When I read the news about Assassin's Creed, the new Assassin's Creed Unity, and the fact that they couldn't create female assassins because um, it would take a lot of time to do so. Man, did Twitter and Tumblr. I don't own a Tumblr, but I saw the post. But all Twitter and Tumblr were just blowing up. Kotaku was blowing up. The internet was blowing up saying, how sexist can Ubisoft be and Assassin's Creed be for thinking that, females are expendable and interchangeable and all this other hot garbage. And the fact of the matter is that all this fake outrage, and for what? It's not like you play the video game, so what are you bitching for? And now we're living in a world where the whole damsel in distress plot in video games is a bad thing? Where the hell did this come from? So you're telling me if we switch the roles, it should be a woman saving a man from distress, even though, ironically enough, it would have to be the female going through all the things and getting help with items and other assists just to save a man. So wouldn't that be really defeating the purpose of the whole purpose after all? It's just the fact that all these feminists now, it's not even about feminism to them anymore, because feminism means a woman just wants to be seen as equal as a man. That's what feminism is. But not in today's society. Feminism is that a woman needs to be better than men. And I'm going to be real with you right now. I'm just going to say this right now. And I don't even care how many people I piss off when I say this. Men are stronger. Men are stronger than women. Physically and mentally. It's just the way it is. It's science. And it's not being offensive. It's just stating facts. So when I hear feminists and when I hear same-sex civil rights activists, and I hear people in the black community, Latino community, white community, whatever, complain about the littlest of things just to ruin the fun of gaming, it pisses me off. I hate all these hipsters coming on here and trying to ruin the aspects of gaming just to appease their egos. And that's all it's about. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it anything wrong. All these things that are happening right now in the gaming industry, it's about ego, politics, money, glad-handing. That's all it's about. They really don't care about if a certain female is, a damsel in distress. They just want their voices to be heard. They want to feel like they're a part of something. They want to pretend like they're doing something right. They want to be an activist when they're really not. Saying the fact that there's not enough women in video games. Oh, okay, so just discredit the likes of Lara Croft and Samus Aran and Sheik and Zelda and Aaron Gainsborough and Yuna and Reiko Hinomoto and Lightning and all these other video game vixens that are independent and really do fight independently. They don't necessarily need any help from anybody. But just disregard that to try to prove your point or anything. Now, I was talking about turning this whole thing into a series. I may just do that for the newscast from here on forward, because there's a lot of things I want to get through in terms of gaming. And I'm sorry that I wasn't the most articulate. I'm sorry that I wasn't the most articulate and well thought out person to say it. Which I am. Don't get me wrong, I am very articulate. Don't let the whole Hakeem Johnson persona fool you. I'm very smart and articulate when it comes to certain things. But, I was trying to explain it, but there's a lot of things in my mind and just made it seem like I was just blabbering. But I may just make this into a series. Next week, what I am going to talk about the next week, though, in terms of this, though, I'm going to talk about the whole controversy about Samus Aran and her jet boots for Smash 4. I am going to talk about that, and I did talk about it in the previous newscast, but I want to get into more details about that, so I will talk about that next week. So, there you have it, folks. A 40-minute newscast with a lot of things I wanted to talk about. I will be doing a newscast next week, and hopefully send your questions and comments about anything that I said here today, negative or positive, doesn't really matter. I'll address them, and I'll read them on the next newscast next Friday night. So until then, see you guys later. This is Hakeem Johnson telling you guys to stay cool. Stay cool. See you guys later.